Hello, welcome back. Welcome to my apricot cheesecake. Okay, out of the cheesecakes, this is my favourite one. I thought I might as well do one more before we move on to the next thing. Alright, so for this little beauty, the first thing we need is 750 grams of cream cheese. So we want to chop it into a bowl, put some glad wrap over it, and we want to set it aside because it has to be at room temperature. It will not work cold from the fridge. So that's the very first thing you do. So next thing we need to do is get a 23 centimetre springform tin, and we want to cut a piece of baking paper out with a little bit of butter and put it on the base, and then cut out one long enough piece to go around it, and I've just doubled it over to make it easier, and a little bit of butter there to sit that in and stick it down properly, and then that's all ready to go. Alright, 250 grams of any sweet biscuit you want. I've only got the butternut snap cookies in the cupboard, so they're going to have to do. But any sweet biscuit, alright, 250 grams. Then we're going to need 125 grams of butter chopped up into a small saucepan. Now, I'm going to write the recipe below for you guys as always to make it easy for you. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is put the 125 grams of butter on a very low heat on your stove top to start melting. While they're melting down, you want to crush our bickies. Now either you can get a food processor, break them up into the food processor and process them down to crumbs, or you can get a freezer bag and a rolling pin, or like me, a freezer bag and a hammer. The crumbs are crushed, butter is melted. Now we pour the butter in and we want to mix it up until all the biscuit is wet, and then we want to dump it into our tin. Once we've dumped it into our tin, we just want to spread it out and try and get it even. And then with the back of the spoon, we're just going to push it all down and keep going around until we've flattened it all on the bottom. Okay, once we've got it as flat and as even as we can, like a saw, now we want to whack it in the fridge until we need it. Alright, now we want to squeeze enough of a lemon to get 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and set that aside. Now I've got a 405ml can of apricot nectar. I want to tip that into a small saucepan. Is put 2 tablespoons of gelatin powder in here. Mix it up really well. Set it on the stove top in between low and medium, right in the middle of it. And we want to keep stirring it and keep stirring it until we can melt the gelatin. Once all the gelatin is melted, we want to take it off just before it starts to boil. Alrighty, so I pulled it off just as it's going to start to boil. Now I've still got a few little lumps in there. See how there's still a few little lumps in there? So what I'm going to do is get one of these little strainers. Now you want to pour it into something else anyway to cool it down quicker. So I'm just going to pour it in a plastic jug. So the next thing we're going to do is get a 820 gram can of apricot halves in the juice. And we're going to drain all the juice out. Alright, so once you've drained them out, we're going to chop them in 4, each half, chop in 4. Now if you want to, you can use fresh apricots, that's completely up to you. I love using the canned ones because they're nice and soft and they go perfect in the cheesecake. Completely up to you. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep 8 aside. Yeah, I'm going to keep 8 aside to decorate with, and then chop them all in 4s and chuck them in a bowl. Now we've done that, we set that aside. We get a small bowl with 500 ml of cream in it, thickened cream in it, and now we want to get our electric beater and beat it up until soft peaks form. Once our soft peaks are formed, like so, just tap this off, set it aside, and grab our bowl of creamed cheese that has now gone to room temperature. Now we want to add 1 cup of caster sugar to it, and we want to beat that up on low until it's all mixed in together. Now we want to add 2 tablespoons of our lemon juice to our cream cheese. And what we're going to do as we're beating it on low, we're going to slowly add our apricot mix until it's all beaten in together nicely. Oh, once that's done, oh my god, the smell coming out of that is yum. Alright, whack that away. Now we want to get a big spoon and we want to fold our cream in. So just put all the cream in there, and then just like this, by just going cutting, cutting, just doing that same motion around and around, and just keep doing it until it's all mixed in perfectly. So that takes a red hot minute. You want it to look like a saw. Oh yeah, baby. Now you might get a couple of little bits of lumps of cream in there. Don't worry about it, that's all good. Alright, now we want to pour a third of it into our base. Alright, now we want to put half of the apricots all over it. Try and get some on the edge, which is what I should have done for the cherry one. So you can actually see it when we open it up later. You can see some around the edge. Then we want to put another third in, and then do the same thing. Put the last half of the apricots on. Now if I had that lapped over like I should have, and I didn't even notice that I did it a bit too short. See how I haven't got it lapped over there? So therefore I can't fill it right up over it. Now if you had that overlapped, you'd have no problems keep filling it. So I'm just going to have to fill it to the top of that rim. Oh, lucky. I thought it was going to go over for sure. That's going to be like perfect, smack bang on. Oh, smooth it out over the top. This is a massively huge cheesecake. This one is great for Chrissy time, or any barbecue, or any awesome thing where you want to take something and wow everyone. Okay, now we want to carefully pick it up and just drop it a couple of times. Alright, we're just getting all the air bubbles out. Now we're going to whack it in the fridge for 3 hours. A 405ml can of apricot nectar. Yeah, I've just had to pour it in a jug because that was an absolute mess. So if you ever see one of these can openers from Big W for $9, do not get it. Save yourself the hassle. So the first thing we do is we get a small saucepan and we put 2 tablespoons of just normal white sugar in there. And we want to put 6 teaspoons of cornflour in there. Then with the whisk, we just want to whisk those two together and mix them in. Yep. And now we want to slowly add our apricot nectar. We've whisked it all in. You might have a couple of little tiny lumps there. They should go out as it starts to get hot. Now we want to put it on a medium heat, and we want to constantly whisk it until we bring it up to a boil. Once it comes up to a boil, it will start thickening over about half a minute. Alright, now we're going to take that off and leave that there for a good 15, probably 20 minutes to cool right down. Alrighty, I'll try to patch this up as best I could, the bit that was left out on its open. But that's just to teach you, I suppose. Make sure it's long enough that it really does overlap each other a fair way. Okay, so what I forgot to say is while it's cooling down, just give it a stir every 5 minutes or so, just to stop it from setting. Okay, once we've got it cooled down enough, it's been 20 minutes, pour it on. Alright, very carefully pick it up and drop it. About 3 times. Try and straighten up your paper a little bit around the outside. Alright, now, you can leave it exactly like that now. You do not have to decorate it if you want. You can leave it like that. But I would suggest you leave it overnight because it does taste a lot better the next day. So this is definitely something that you should make the day before. So now I'm going to leave it in the fridge like that till tomorrow. And then just before I'm going to serve it, we'll pull it all apart and I'm going to decorate mine. So to decorate mine, I left out 8 of those apricot halves. And I've already got some cream that we beat up from the cherry black forest cheesecake, so I'm going to use that. And what I'm going to do is, because apricots and almonds go amazing together, is I've got some of the slivered almonds and I'm just going to get out a frying pan and put them in there with nothing, just them on their own, and just toss them around for a few minutes until you can start smelling them and they've got that little bit of a brownness to them, and then take them straight off and let them cool down, and I'm going to use them to decorate with. Oh yeah, baby, see you tomorrow. Oh, now for the exciting part. I've got me cream, I've got me slivered almonds, I've got me half almonds that we kept. Oh God. Dun, 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 dun. Pull that off. Carefully peel it off. I should really get a knife. If you get a knife and just sort of cut along the edge, a pointy knife, it shouldn't stick at all to it, just something with a really pointy edge. Instead of tearing it off like that. I've decided I'm leaving it on the base. I'm not even going to try. This one's got a thinner bottom on it than the last one because it's a bigger cake. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it on there. It's no big deal at all. So when you cut a slice and put it off, just peel the paper from underneath it. It's better than the whole cake breaking up because it's so big. Oh, look at this beautiful thing. Alright, so this is obviously perfect for Christmas when you want to get a lot of slices. This will probably do 16 slices, whereas the normal size ones do 8. Now, if you want to do a normal size one, in the description below, underneath the recipe that I write there, I'll write the recipe for how you can just do a 20 centimetre small 8 slice one, 8 serve one. Alrighty, so now what I'm going to attempt to do is decorate it. So I've still got some cream. So I've thought if I put when we're putting the fruit around the edge like that, and you can see it all once it comes off, it just looks fantastic, doesn't it? What a gorgeous looking cheesecake made. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves an awesome day. That's it for the cheesecakes. I'm over them. I'm on to the next thing. Bye.